How many times have we said we wanted to make a change and we felt like we're doing things, but it's just not working? Let's read on. The catalyst takes a revolutionary approach to change. Successful change agents know it's not about being more persuasive or providing more information. It's about taking a different tact. Okay, so we need to take a different tact. Not tact, tack. You see why it's important to read aloud? We need to exercise these muscles, okay? Instead of pushing harder, doing the opposite, removing roadblocks and reducing barriers to change. Truthy? You okay? Instead of asking, what could I do to try to convince someone? They ask, why haven't they changed already? What's stopping them? In The Catalyst, internationally best-selling author of Contagious and Invisible Influence, Jonah Berger identifies 5 key barriers to change and shows how to mitigate them. You'll learn how hostage negotiators get people to come out with their hands up. I learned how they do that by watching Law and Order SVU. And how marketers get new products to catch on, how leaders transform organizational culture, and how activists ignite social movements, how substance abuse counselors get addicts to realize they have a problem, and how political canvassers change deeply rooted political beliefs. This book is designed for anyone who wants to catalyze change. It provides a powerful way of thinking and a range of techniques that can lead to extraordinary results. Whether you're trying to change one person, transform an organization, or shift the way an entire industry does business, this book will teach you how to become a catalyst. And that's what Hidden Gems Literary Emporium hopes to be. We hope to be the catalyst for change for literary efforts and the love of reading for ages 1 to 100. So, I was in the cafeteria of the hospital after I went to go see Wisdom. And I'm trying to think, okay, what are we going to read about? So I went to the table of contents and I underlined 2 chapters. Chapter 2 is entitled Endowment, and the case study in this chapter says how to change a nation's opinion. I highlighted that because that's obviously what Hidden Gems wants to do. We want to change the nation or the world's opinion about reading, the love of reading, the necessity of reading. And then chapter 5 is called corroborating. This is why reading out loud is important. Let's say corroborating 3 times. Am I saying that word correctly, Raymond? Corroborating. It's 2 R's. Corroborating. You say it, right? But you have to say it 3 times fast. Okay. The case study for chapter 5, corroborating evidence, the case study says how to change consumer behavior, which is also what we want to do. But right now we're going to go to chapter 2 on page 84. Is it on page 84? No, it's on page 61. Okay, endowment. So the first thing I did, I looked up the definition of endowment because I know what it is, but you know how sometimes you know what a word means, but you can't verbalize it? Raymond, what is endowment? Yes. Yes, very good. You get a gold star. Ding! Can we put graphics in here? No, that's too much work. It takes too much time. We don't got time. Ding! Okay. Mr. Mr. Ferris, Truth okay over there? Okay. Okay. Truth is over there at Studio 1. You being a good assistant, son? Truth. Okay, make sure you listen to everything Mr. Ferris says, okay? All right, an endowment is an income or form of property given or bequeathed to someone. Bequeathed, or given, bequeathed. Let's use that word more than given. or a quality or ability possessed or inherited by someone. I really like that definition because it makes me think about my children. A quality or ability possessed or inherited by someone. Because our children inherit abilities or qualities from us, the parents, right? Okay. So we're going to start reading on World Read Aloud Day. And let's see. I'm trying to see if I should start. All right. So Raymond, you're going to help me. Actually, we're going to start here. Okay. Okay. Of mugs and men. Think about the last time your power went out. Using your phone as a flashlight, but worrying it would run out of juice. Having to reset all the clocks once the outage ended. And if the outage was particularly long, tossing all the spoiled food into the fridge. All in all, not a lot of fun. No one likes power outages. Okay, can you bring them over here so we don't lose them? No one likes power outages, but Pacific Gas and Electric Company, or PG&E as it's most commonly called, wanted to understand exactly how much consumers disliked them. PG&E works to balance reliability and cost. They could invest in more preventative measures, thank you honey, but that would make the service more expensive. Or they could cut rates, but reliability would likely suffer. So which did customers prefer? Greater reliability or lower cost? What do you think? Lower cost? Yeah. I mean, yes, that's the answer. To find out, researchers surveyed more than 1,300 consumers. Want to read Proverbs 8? Okay, we could do that after I read this, okay? Okay. To find out, researchers surveyed more than 1,300 consumers and asked them which of the 6 power plans they preferred. Some plans were more expensive but promised fewer and shorter outages, while other plans were cheaper but involved more frequent, longer outages. Now, Raymond, which one would you choose? Would you choose a plan that was more expensive but more reliable, or less expensive and less reliable? Don't think about our current finances right now. Think about if you had indispensable income. Well, I mean, obviously, if you had indispensable income. Okay. Not surprisingly, when most customers were asked, few picked the plan with lots of power outages. It meant a 4-hour outage at least once a month. More time sitting in the dark or worrying about the food in the fridge going bad. Most customers currently experienced around 3 outages a year, so they said they'd need a monthly discount of at least $20 to move to a service that bad. But one group of people liked the higher power outage plan a lot, even though it meant worse service. Why would they prefer less reliable service? Were they older or more price sensitive, which might lead them to prefer cheaper service even if it was less reliable? No, the only difference was the status quo, and this is the point. Listen up. What they were already getting. A small group of people were already experiencing lots of power outages, as many as 15 a year of 4 hours each. So they picked a plan that was similar to what they knew, even though to most people it seemed like a terrible option. The status quo bias is everywhere. People tend to eat the same foods they've always eaten, buy the same brands they've always bought, and donate to the same causes they've always supported. Take someone who's just had heart bypass surgery or had an angioplasty to widen obstructed arteries. Afterward, they're told, often multiple times by multiple doctors, to change their diets and lifestyles. But only around 10% actually do. Change is hard because people tend to overvalue what they have, what they already own or are already doing. Yes, quiet on the set, right, Mr. Prayer? Yes. So this obviously makes sense to me. Which other one? Oh, I don't have a seat. I don't have a seat. I'm sorry. What about a clip? Isn't there a clip on that curtain? Yeah. Son. Shruti. Okay. So here are a couple things that I underline. It turns out that once we have something, once we're endowed with it, we start to become attached to it, and consequently, we value it more. This so-called endowment effect happens all the time. Duke University students were willing to pay around $200 for Final Four tickets, but students who had already had tickets wanted more than $2,000 to sell them. Memorabilia. Okay. Memorabilia dealers value the same baseball card more if they own it than if they don't. And whether considering time, intellectual property, or a host of other things, people demand more to give them up than acquire them. Ownership even increases the perceived value of beliefs and ideas. When something is ours, we value it more. Very true. How long have we been reading? 18 minutes. I don't want to keep you guys all day. There's one more thing that I do want to read though. And I want to encourage you to go to HiddenGemsLiteraryEmporium.com and go to shop and get your copy of The Catalyst, How to Change Anyone's Mind by Jonah Berger. And support the Hidden Gems 1000 free book tour across the country. This July, we're going from New Jersey to Florida. We are fundraising for a mobile library, a Class A RV that we will convert into a mobile bookstore where we will give away free books on our book tours, bring to schools during our programming, host classes. A lot of times when we do these tours or when we're just talking to people, we meet parents and they're like, my son doesn't like to read. Or my son or my daughter has an issue with this. On this bookmobile, when we meet people on the road, we'll be able to bring them in, spend a few minutes with them, run them through some things, maybe on the whiteboard, or even just talk to them. A lot of times we find our biggest impact, especially on the youth, is talking to them and igniting that. Those of us who are adults, who are lovers of readers, can remember instances where a book turned something in us, changed us. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to change. We're trying to be the catalyst for change for reading all over the world. Okay, so let's talk about loss aversion. I'm reading The Catalyst, page 66. Okay? Yeah, we're gonna read this. Loss aversion. Every change has upsides and downsides. A new phone has better battery life, but a bigger footprint. A new power plan has fewer outages but costs more. New software saves money but has to be integrated with the old system and takes a while to learn. It turns out that these advantages and disadvantages aren't weighed equally. Imagine I offered you a chance to win $100 on a coin flip. If it lands heads, you would win $100. If it lands tails, you lose $100. Would you take that bet, Raymond? You would? I knew you would. I knew you would. And if we lost, I'd be like, Raymond! Okay. If you're like most people, you'd probably say no. See, Raymond is not like most people. Sure, there's the chance of winning $100, but there's an equal chance of losing $100. So the potential gain doesn't seem worth the risk. Might as well stay put and do nothing. Not in Raymondton. Classical economics would generally agree. Calculate the expected value, the sum of all possible outcomes, multiplied by their probability of occurrence, and the resulting number is 0. But imagine sweetening the deal. 0, yep. Imagine sweetening the deal just a tiny bit. Rather than winning $100 on heads, make it 102. Same potential downside, but larger potential upside. $1 isn't huge, but play that gamble 100 times, and on average, you should win $100. So expected value would say go for it. But would you? Would you be willing to risk 100 for the chance to win 102? Probably not. In fact, I'd probably have to increase the upside significantly to get more than a couple of takers, because losses loom larger than gains. Losses loom larger than gains. When deciding whether to take a bet, buy a new phone, or make any changes at all, potential disadvantages are weighed more heavily than potential advantages. Losing $100 feels worse than winning $100. Losing $100 feels worse than winning $110. In fact, research suggests that the potential gains of doing something have to be 2.6 times larger than the potential losses to get people to take action. Chance of losing $100? The potential win has to be at least 260 before most people will take that bet. Whenever people think about changing, here's again the point. Whenever people think about changing, they compare things to their current state, the status quo. And if the potential gains barely outweigh the potential losses, they don't budge. Whenever people think about changing, they compare things to their current state, the status quo. And if the potential gains barely outweigh the potential losses, they don't budge. To get people to change, the advantages have to be at least twice as good as the disadvantages. New software can't be just a little better, it has to be a lot better. A new approach can't just be slightly more effective, it has to be significantly more effective. If people have to give up something they like or lose things they value, the benefit, for example, boosted efficiency, decreased cost, or some other positive change, has to be at least twice as big to make up for it. And while the advantages of new things are often salient, that's a good vocabulary word, salient, potential change agents often ignore the disadvantages or costs. Okay, I'm going to read a footnote, then we're going to wrap up. Two aspects are important to note. First, the new thing doesn't have to be twice as good as the old one. The upside, for example, benefits or gains, just has to be twice as large as any downsides. For example, costs or losses. For example, a new service doesn't need to be twice as fast as the old one, but the increase in speed or other benefits needs to be at least twice as large as any monetary cost to acquire it, time spent learning to use it, etc. Second, perceived gains and losses are what matter. The service may be twice as fast, but if the customer doesn't care about speed, it doesn't matter. Truly understanding someone's needs and values helps determine whether a particular change will be perceived as gains and losses. Okay, so I underlined that footnote, thinking about Hidden Gems. Okay, so why would people support Hidden Gems? Why would people donate to Hidden Gems? Why would they sponsor our programs? People need to perceive the gain that would come from their donation or their sponsorship, and they would have to perceive it as being extremely beneficial, more beneficial than losing $100 or losing $1,000 or losing $1 million. Their donation, they can't perceive it as a loss. Actually, it has to be an investment into the change that we are trying to create. The Catalyst, How to Change Anyone's Mind by Jonah Berger. You can support Hidden Gems Literary Emporium by getting your copy of this book on our website, HiddenGemsLiteraryEmporium.com. You can also make a donation via our website, HiddenGemsLiteraryEmporium.com. We also have CashApp, hashtag Hidden Gems Emporium, hashtag Hidden Gems Emporium. You'll see our logo pop up, the orange one. We also have Venmo at Hidden Gems Literary Emporium. Very simple. We also have PayPal. Just saying. Hidden Gems Literary Emporium at gmail.com. we should all just, think about how we can be a catalyst in different spheres of life, whether you're at work or, in your family, in your community. How can we catalyze changes that we want to see? It all starts here. Not even here. Starts here. I want to thank you all for joining us today or watching this replay. And today is World Read Aloud Day. And I want to encourage you to read aloud every day. If you have children, read aloud to your children. If you don't, read aloud to yourself or your dog. Let's practice talking. We don't talk anymore. Why? We need to move our mouths. I want to make a couple of announcements before we sign off. February 18th, Saturday, February 18th, right here, out above our studios, we're having the Melanated Lectory, which is a book fair and pop-up shop for creatives of color. I want to encourage you all to come out and find your new favorite creatives of color. We're having authors, crafts, businesses, and so much more. Come on by 55B Morris Street, New Brunswick, New Jersey. Do you like law? Are you interested in law? Are you a law student? Please go on HiddenGemsLiteraryEmporium.com. We have a new fundraiser that was donated by Bob Rywick, who passed away in 2019. His best friend in the whole wide world sought us out and donated his copy of, I got the number right from Charlene, 2,000 beautifully leather-bound legal and law books of all subjects, donated to HiddenGemsLiteraryEmporium.com. And those books are now a fundraiser for our 1,000 free book tour. So please go on our website, click shop, and you can get some. You can get you some, or you can sponsor a book or a dozen books or more for a law student. Another announcement. This year, in 2023, Hidden Gems is reading, Raymond, I almost said 1,000. We're reading 100 books. Yes, we are. And so if you go on our bookshop, Hidden Gems Literary Emporium, no, just kidding, bookshop.org/shop/Hidden Gems Literary Emporium, you can see the list. It says 2003 100 book challenge. So far there's only 3 books up there, and right now we're reading this one, The Catalyst. So every time that we are reading a book, we're going to add it there. And if you subscribe to our website, you'll get the emails about it. Or if you stay in touch with us on social media, you will be able to see what book we're currently reading. So the book that we're currently reading and the books that we have read will all be on that list. You can purchase them and read. Which battery is failing? This one is plugged in. Okay, you gave me the wrap up. Okay, thank you, director. Let's see. Also, okay, this is the last thing I want to say. We love you all for reading, and we honestly, Hidden Gems Literary Emporium started with a prayer and $30, and our goal is to, Shruti, are you banging? Our goal is to become larger than life and larger than Barnes and Nobles, and with your help we could do that. And so we love you all so much. Happy World Read Aloud Day. Happy reading is fun every day. And this is Kyla from Hidden Gems signing off. Thank you. Go on our website, get your copy. All right. How do you stop it? I'm not telling you. You should know that.